This is a Nextbase dash cam. I picked it up from the retail store dirt cheap. Is it a deal or is it a dud? I'll find out. That's coming up on ThriftyAV. If you're unfamiliar with the retail store dirt cheap, they sell discontinued and return items from other retailers, frankly at dirt cheap prices. But there's a catch. You cannot return items to dirt cheap. So with electronic items, if it doesn't work, well, you're kind of stuck. This Nextbase dash cam is a recent acquisition and it's out of the box. Let's back up and check out the unboxing. At dirt cheap, this amount is not the price of the item, it's the estimated value. Now this is going to be some percentage off that value that changes over time. You can use the Dirt Cheap app to find that out. Right now it is 95% off this price, which makes it $3.13. This box was taped shut, but in the store they let me open it up and check it. There is the instructions and a warranty card. All that looks good. Here's the camera itself. It looks like it hasn't ever been opened, but it's hard to tell with this resealable bag here. A QR code and a resealable bag with the power cord. Again, it looks like this hasn't ever been used. And here is a USB cable. Has mini, not micro USB. Here's a little sticky piece that'll allow me to attach this to probably the dash. Not sure what this is for. Maybe for mounting it. I'll have to read the instructions. Let's take this camera out of the wrapper. Oh, look, I got plastic to peel. In fact, let's get all this stuff out of the wrappers. There's some sticky mount too. Format the SD card using the Dashcam fortnightly. Okay. Nice. Now let's see if I can get a charge on this doodad. Looks like I'm going to plug it in right there. Oh, it powered on. A lot of languages to pick from. I'm going to go ahead and pick English. This looks like military time. Exposure. Probably set that to just 0. Audio recording, I'm going to try that out. I'm going to leave that on. Video length, 1 minute, 2 minute, 3 minute. I'm going to go with the longest, I guess. Time and date stamp. Okay, if you're using this for legal purposes, you probably want it on, but for ThriftyAV purposes, I'm going to turn it off. And G sensor, I'll just try medium out. And that is all the menu items. I'm going to go ahead and plug an SD card into this. And I am looking for format. Does this not format a card for me? Well, I guess I'll pop it out and format it on my computer. This cable is about 14 feet long, so it could potentially get tangled up, but you could mount the camera anywhere in your vehicle with a cable this long. And as far as mounting, there's really two options. You can use this suction cup or this little sticky plate here. Either way, this is going to clip on. This will either clip on to the sticky plate or it'll clip on to the suction cup. I'm going to use the suction cup, so that clips into place. And now I can attach this camera, and the way you do it is this front here is magnetic. And then I can attach this piece, and it just goes in there. It really has a strong attraction there. And this includes the contacts to power the camera. So you plug the power in here, and then it's going to power the camera from the mount. So let's say you're parked and you don't want this sitting on your windshield. You can just pull it off, leave the mount on the windshield, and then either take the camera with you or hide it under the seat or whatever. Where this Pilot here has just a really crummy mount that slides off. and of course it doesn't power through the mount. Let's take the Nextbase dash cam out on the road and see how it does. It's about midday and I'm driving through town. I'm using the Nextbase dash cam that's 720p. You're listening to me through the built-in microphone on the Nextbase dash cam. I do have the air conditioner running on low. You might hear the sound of the fan. You'll definitely hear the road noise. I'm going to try to pick some streets that are a little bit bumpy to go down and see how well it deals with that. Here we have a brick street, so that's going to be kind of bumpy. Not only do I want to see how well this camera deals with bumps, I want to know how good are the colors, how are the video levels, can you see any compression artifacts, does the automatic white balance give a true perspective of the green in the trees and the blue of the sky. Now, one thing about this dash camera is that it starts up automatically as soon as it receives power if an SD card is installed. So when you start up your engine and it sees that you have power going to the unit, it will start recording. It does divide up the files into bite-sized chunks, and you can pick how long each of those chunks is. Alright, this is a picnic area coming up, so that's a good place for me to turn around. And nobody's hanging out at the picnic area in the summer heat. Does anyone actually picnic at roadside picnic areas? The clearance on this underpass is pretty low, 13 feet 2 inches. I've seen trucks get stuck under here. I was pretty happy with the footage I got from the Nextbase. There was some fisheye distortion on the edges with the extremely wide angle lens. Also, with 720p, you're not going to be able to read a license plate off of another vehicle from the footage that I got off of this. But the colors looked good. It didn't drop any frames, and overall I thought it did a pretty good job. Even the built-in mic, I've heard worse. It was pretty decent. Now I want to do a side-by-side comparison with the Pilot dash cam that I have reviewed in an earlier video. The Nextbase may only be 720p, not 1080p, but it definitely has better video levels, better color saturation, and fewer compression artifacts. Look at the sky. You can see the striping from the compression on the Pilot. There is a much smoother gradient on the Nextbase 720p. The Nextbase splits video up into 3-minute segments, and when the file is changed, you lose a frame of video. So when I synced up the two cameras, I left a frame of black for the Nextbase. And it happened right there when I crossed the railroad tracks. I'm going to jump forward to pulling into a restaurant parking lot because I ended up facing almost toward the sun, and I wanted to see how each of the cameras dealt with a lens glare. So during the day, the Nextcam at 720p looked better than the Pilot at 1080p. Let's look at some night footage. Again, the Nextbase is on the left and the Pilot is on the right. That street lamp had a lot more glare on the Pilot than the Nextbase. The Pilot just looks darker. I can differentiate the sky from the tree line on the Nextbase. I can't really do it on the Pilot. The white balance on the Nextbase is a little more true. The Pilot definitely looks orangish. Let's see what the lights at Sonic look like as I pull in here. Somewhat blue with the Nextbase and definitely greenish hued with the Pilot. Checking the file info for the Nextbase, it records AVI files. The overall bitrate is 19.4 Mbps. It's recording 3-minute chunks is what I had it set to. Width of 1280, height of 720, that's 720p. An exact frame rate of 30 frames per second. Color space YUV, chroma 420 with an 8-bit depth. Audio is mono, 512 kbps. 32 kilohertz, 16-bit. So with the night footage, I would say the Nextbase still outperformed the Pilot, even though the Nextbase is only 720p. If you enjoyed this video, smash that like button. Thank you to my patrons for supporting this channel, and remember, stay thrifty, everyone.